on that field today? Ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! And let's go to that! And let's go to that!
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready? And let's go to that. And let's go to that.
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from them. He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready? And let's go to that. And let's go to that. It's a wrap. Game over. Now, this game is just getting started right here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. Lot going on. And I mean, a lot going on. They got off to a rough start, but man, I'm shaking that mess off, and I'm getting into this one right here. It's a fast break edition, and got to get it and quit it and move on to the next thing. But man, a lot going on. A lot of NFL free agency, a lot of talk about college basketball. And then, of course, you know, we got some people that lost their doggone minds. I can't cuss no more. I got a young man who pays attention to the show. Big shout out to Solomon. What's going on, Solly? I'm going to behave, man. I'm going to behave. Also, I got a shout out to a lady who means the world to me. Back in my formative years, up in my hometown in Ohio, this young lady and her husband and their children took me in one of the darkest moments of my life. And they didn't judge me. They didn't condemn me. They just took care of me. I wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for Mrs. Boucher celebrating her 85th birthday today. Mother Boucher, happy 85. You're looking 25. I love you. I love your husband, Pastor Boucher. I love your family, Dave. I love Dan. And you know I love Amy. So Mother Boucher, happy birthday to you again. Had to shout out your big day on the lunch break. All right. That being said, March Madness, man, what a weekend. What a weekend. Come on, let's run down the scores from this weekend. Duke out. Check that out. Duke out. North Carolina never got in. And Kansas out. I mean, come on now. Come on. Tennessee sent them home with a 65-52 win. San Diego State still dancing. They knocked off Furman on Saturday, 75-52. But man, it was our Kansas, not your Kansas, but our Kansas or Arkansas that knocked off number 1 seed Kansas, 72-71. Man, I got to give nothing but love to the Razorbacks. They did what nobody thought that they could do but them and their fan base, and they got it done. Now, a lot of people speculating if Bill Self had been there. He wasn't. I pray for his health, pray for his recovery, but Arkansas moving on, Kansas out. And then how about Princeton, man? They are something else. They ran through Missouri, 78-63. Erica with a K, sorry about that. They ran through Missouri, 78-63. Number 1, Houston overcame a 10-point deficit at the half to win by 17 points. Man, I tell you what, Marcus Sasser and Jamal Shedd got it done, and the Bigs also played well. They beat Auburn 81-64. UT going to the Sweet 16 after beating Penn State 71-66. I got to tell you, stop calling that coach interim and give him the head coach job. I mean it. That man has got it done. Oh, I'm sorry. Only the second coach to win the Big 12 conference tournament. And, oh, yeah, by the way, the second brother to do it. Yeah, I had to say it. If you don't like it, get off of it. All right. All right. UCLA rolling. Alabama rolling. I got to talk about them and their media after, we get through this. They ran through Maryland 73-51. And you know how that went. All right. So that was on Saturday. Sunday, it didn't get any less crazy on Sunday. It was Xavier getting by Pittsburgh 84-73. But I got to tell you, Jeff Capel's doing a great job at Pittsburgh. Got to give him some love. And Kentucky out. Kansas State repping the Big 12 75-69 over the Wildcats of Kentucky. I grew up loving the blue, but baby, I got to add a little purple to it right now. I like what they're doing down there at Kansas State. Love what they're doing down there at Kansas State. Shaka Smart, man, one of my favorite coaches in the game. His guys just could not get it together. They shot horribly from the arc, and they fell to a team that I'd love to see out personally as a fan. As a broadcast journalist, they can dance as long as they can. But Michigan State got by Marquette 69-60. Again, watch Marquette. They're going to be back. They're going to be back. Shaka Smart, a great coach. He's going to get them back there. But Michigan State rolling on. I'm going to talk about them too before I go. And then it was UConn. Watch out for UConn. They are playing really doggone good. They blew St. Mary's out 70-55. Creighton letting everybody know we still here. We down. They beat Baylor. A lot of folks even had Baylor winning it all, but not this season. They lost to Creighton by the score of 85-76. What's up with Florida Atlantic? Conference USA? They beat Fairleigh Dickinson, ended Cinderella's story 78-70. And then it was Miami getting by Indiana. Man, I tell you what, I love what the head coach at Indiana is doing, but hey, that dinner ain't quite cooked yet, so they got to go home and try it again. 85-69. Gonzaga, man, I really thought TCU was going to get them all up out of there. 84-81. Gonzaga is still dancing. So that's what happened on Saturday. On Sunday. That's what happened on Sunday. Okay. Let's see. Monday night, no games. We got games coming up on I want to say what, Thursday or Friday? Yeah, Thursday. You got Michigan State and Kansas State. It's going to be a very interesting game. Kansas State higher seed, but they're underdog, 2 points. And then you got Arkansas and UConn. That's going to be a good game. That's going to be a great game. And we'll see how that goes. Again, UConn is the favorite in that. Then Tennessee going to have to try and send Cinderella home. They got Florida Atlantic. That'll tip off at 8 o'clock Central. And then just a West Coast matchup. UConn and Gonzaga get it on Thursday night, 8:45. That one's going to be very interesting. If the Zags are for real, they will get it done. Now, Friday, I'm on it. You got number 1 Alabama against San Diego State. Alabama is a big favorite in that one. I think they're sleeping on San Diego State a little bit, but we'll see. Got Houston, another number 1 seed. The only 2 number 1 seeds remaining. Both will play on Friday. They got a very good Miami Hurricane team. Miami men and women balling in the March Madness tournament, just like Princeton men and women were balling in the March Madness tournament. But anyway, Houston and Miami, Friday, 6:15. Then you got Creighton and Princeton, 2 Cinderellas still dancing. We'll see what happens. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised if Princeton wins that one. And then you got the late game, Texas and Xavier. Again, the winners of those games all go to the Elite Eight. All go to the Elite Eight. All right, that's what we got in that first matchup. What a weekend, man. What a weekend. Let me take a break. When I come back, let me jump on the women's side because, man, oh, man, oh, man. Ooh, that Arizona not only game, but Arizona commentators. Good God, what were y'all thinking? Let me take this break. I'll be right back right after this on the lunch break, powered by JM&E. Streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV.
When the man said that Sharifa Barksdale is on the verge, she's getting ready to set the world record. And I lost concentration and I followed that hurdle. I was devastated.
One of our hopes for the Olympic Games, Sharifa Barksdale from Tennessee, a fine intermediate hurdler, ranked 10th in the world at 400 meters.
Posición game ball de Canadá, dominando la prueba, y la estadounidense Sharifa Barksdale está en.
When I fell over that hurdle, it ended my career. And then all of a sudden, my coach grabs me by the throat. And I was going through some paperwork and seeing that he had spent 10 years in prison. And I was just like floored. It turned to domestic violence. I was terrified. So if I left, I don't know if I was going to die. My family didn't know if they was going to get a phone call to say that Sharifa was dead.
8910 radio, I said a vehicle took a shot at me. Southbound on East 95th.
Broke the U.S. record in the 400-meter hurdles. Represented the United States of America.
Imagine being on the biggest, fastest roller coaster that you have ever been on. That's the way my life was for 20 years.
I never had no trouble out of her being what she wanted to be. Because if this is what she wanted to be a runner, well, God bless her, and he did.
Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street, y'all done had problems. Maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central.
All right, y'all. Again, that's going to be a great show tonight, 7 o'clock, live on Roku TV. You got to check it out. Queen 3 and King podcast. They get it in, and I love the family. Hey, y'all. Anyway, if you don't have a Roku streaming device, all you have to do is go to BS3network.com. That's BS3network.com. But get a Roku streaming device, because all you got to do there is download, BS3 TV. And you got all these great shows, man. Trust me, you're going to love it. All right, let me get back to it. Before the break, I said I was going to jump over to the women's side of the tournament, and that's what I want to do right now. Indiana on the 18th on Saturday got past Tennessee Tech. Tennessee got past St. Louis. Ohio State got by James Madison. Miami got by Oklahoma State. Florida Gulf Coast got by Washington State in an upset, 12 knocking off of 5. UConn rolling, man, beat Vermont by 43. Toledo upset number 5 Iowa State. North Carolina by St. John's. Villanova got by Cleveland State. Baylor beat Alabama by 4. Colorado beat Middle Tennessee. Louisville beat Drake 83-81. Drake was balling. Oklahoma beat Portland. Duke beat Iona. UT knocked off East Carolina, by 39. UCLA over Sac State. Florida International beat UIC, and New Mexico beat Eastern Tennessee. North Dakota beat NIU, and California Baptist beat Georgia Southern. All right. Those were all the tournament games. Now let me go over to Sunday, because that's when it got a little interesting. South Carolina beat South Florida 76-45. Don Staley's squad is legit. Iowa beat Georgia. Iowa's going to be a team to watch. Iowa is going to fill in where some of those number ones got beat. Speaking of the number one getting beat, Ole Miss, Coach Yo and squad knocked off number one seed Stanford, 54-49. And man, I tell you what, you can tell when the commentators only did their homework on one team or when they really want a team to win, because man, that color analyst for that game literally was overturning calls in her head, was saying fouls weren't fouls, was saying turnovers shouldn't have been turnovers, as Stanford melted down the stretch, and Ole Miss went on a 6-0 run to close out the game and beat number one Stanford. I'm sorry. Coach T, Coach Tara, they're out. Coach Yo is on the go, on their way. And again, congratulations to Ole Miss overcoming everybody and everything to knock off a number one seed. Utah sent the ladies of Princeton home. Maryland beat Arizona. Coach Adia, man, bless you. I know y'all are going to be back. LSU all over Michigan, man. I was really disappointed in how poorly Michigan played. They could not handle the physicality of LSU. Come on, Big Ten. You got to do better than that. You got to do better than that. All right, so there we go. That's what happened there. That's what happened there. All right, let's jump over to Monday. The Ohio State knocked off a very good North Carolina team last night, 71-69. Tennessee rolling, almost put a 50 spot up on Toledo, but those ladies of Tennessee are balling. How about Louisville? Again, knocked off a very good UT team. After the game, little talk, tap, get out of my face in the handshake line between a basketball player from UT, basketball player from Louisville. But again, I'm not going to speculate on what was being said, because folks are, how you going to only put up 2 points and then have something to say? And we don't know what happened. We don't know what went down. All we know is they had something to say to each other. Villanova sent Florida Gulf Coast home 76-57. Miami sent home another number one seed. They dropped Indiana 70-68. And again, when it came down to crunch time, big-time players make big-time plays in big-time moments, and Miami did it where Indiana didn't. So congratulations to the Hurricanes of Miami. They are dancing on the women's side. Colorado sent Duke home a higher seed, 61-53. UConn still rolling. They beat up on Baylor, 77-58. UConn is going to be a problem. They got their bigs back. They didn't have their bigs through most of the season. They got their bigs back. They're playing a different kind of basketball right now. UCLA over Oklahoma. And let's see, anybody else I want to talk about? Harvard over UMass. Big win. All right, so there we go. That's what's happening there. All right, where are we, man? I feel like time is getting away from me. No, I got a little bit of time. Couple things I want to talk about. Michigan State, Tom Izzo, legendary coach. Can't take that away from him. Wouldn't let my kid play for him. I wouldn't work for him. He can't come to my house, knock on my door. Who is it? Tom. Tom who? Izzo. Get off my yard. Period. You still there? I'm calling the police and I'm letting my dog out. Real talk. I don't fake it. I ain't joking. I'm for real. Tom Izzo going into the College Basketball Hall of Fame, if he ain't already in it. The Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, if he ain't already in it. But here's the thing. All these emotional speeches and what it means to him and all that. Bruh, are you okay? Is he okay? A couple of years ago, or was it last year, it was, this means so much to me. My legacy is tied to this and everything like that. Is he okay? I mean, for real, if it's all about Tom Izzo, then give him a god-doggone trophy and be done with it. And I'm not saying give him the NCAA National Championship trophy. Get that boy a medal, a ribbon, a T-shirt or something and be done with it. But I think something ain't right. when you that emotional, when something is going on and you can't articulate, it is almost like, and I'm for real, Willie Gibson will appreciate this. It's almost like when Aaron Pryor got in the ring and started singing Happy Birthday to Nobody. I'm really wondering if Tom Izzo is okay. I really like though that Draymond Green sent some shade to D Wade with Michigan State beating Marquette. Now that's cool. I'm with that. I'm with all the smoke on that one. But Tom Izzo, bro, are you okay? Is there some medical situation that we don't know about? Is there some family situation that we don't know about? Because your level of emotion, without including your players, I mean, it's all about him right now. Ooh, that. And then let me get to Alabama real quick. Let me take the break. I'll come back. We'll talk about Alabama when I come back. Right here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV.
If you're looking for a sports program that gives you the flavor.
Washington Commanders? Really?
This whole thing stinks to high heaven.
That pulls no punches.
Thuggish act by a thuggish actor.
That gives you some humor.
Praise everything LeBron does and never criticize it.
If you want a show that gives you good times, then this is that show. BS3 Network proudly presents.
I am Cole Johnson and welcome to
Cole Sports with a Z. Every Friday on Patreon and every Saturday on YouTube, Spreaker, and all other outlets. What do you get when you watch or listen to the Life Happens podcast? Well, I'll let them tell you.
Kim and I are both ministers of the gospel, and the Life Happens podcast is a beautiful balance by simply taking our spirituality with real life and merging it together to create a beautiful balance. And that's what we do.
BS3 Network proudly presents Life Happens podcast, where Christianity and life intersect. Live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central.
All right, y'all. Again, 2 more great shows from the BS3 Network. All you got to do, if you have a Roku streaming device, download BS3 TV. BS3 TV. Download that. Boom, you're in. If you don't have a Roku streaming device, you got to get one. But until then, go to bs3network.com. That's bs3network.com, and you can check us out there. All right? All right, good. Listen, about to wrap it up. Got a few more minutes left. So there is an article out, several, but there was one main article, not giving credit to the writer, where there was previously unreleased video footage of the situation that happened down in Alabama, where a young lady lost her life in some type of altercation with a couple of Alabama players and, namely their All-American player, Mr. Miller. The article didn't show the video, and I get why. They said it was kind of graphic. But the title of the article said the media, and it might have said other people, excuse me, said the media owes Brandon Miller an apology. I never saw the video. But the way that the article described every single, like it broke down time frames. The way the article itself described the video, no, we don't. We don't owe Brandon Miller an apology. Because at the end of the day, one thing that some people just don't get is that whether or not he's responsible whether or not he did it, and we know he didn't. You know, we know that he did not pull the trigger. We know that that you know, from the way the video was described, from the testimony from witnesses, that, you know, he was not a primary, if you will, in the event. He still had bad decision making. Somebody calls you and says what the article said. You know, bring me my, you know, use slang. And then they basically used the phrase that we just got in a situation where we were threatened, but using, you know, urban slang. You knew something was going to pop off right there. So instead of using this, he acquiesced, brought the gun, was still on the scene. And when it happened and his friend, his teammate got shot, according to the article, they lied about how he got shot and what happened. They lied. That's poor decision making. You're not going to lie and get an apology from me. I can't speak for the rest of the meeting. I owe him nothing. And if Alabama wants to play him and justify playing him, then just live with that. You don't have to make other people agree with you for the decisions you make. In fact, right there on your own campus, Bama fans, Roll Tide fans, football player arrested, smelt marijuana, arrested and found a large amount of marijuana, weighing scales, guns, and money. Nick Saban suspended the dude and said there's no such thing as wrong place at the wrong time. Interesting choice of words, considering that's what the head coach of the basketball team said when talking about a young mother being killed in an incident that could have been avoided. Nah, owe him no apology. He needs to be thankful that he's still playing. He needs to be thankful that he didn't die in an unnecessary, ill-advised, immature situation that could have been avoided. I'm sorry. Not to Miller. I'm sorry to the young lady's family. I'm sorry to her child. I'm sorry that any of it happened, because guess what? Young people, just because somebody says something to you does not mean that you need to fight them, nor does it mean that you need to pull out a gun and shoot them. So yeah, nice article. NBA action last night. NBA action last night. The Rockets had won a couple of games in a row over the weekend, but then they ended up losing to New Orleans on Sunday, and then they lost to Golden State last night, 121-108. Dallas lost to Memphis, 112-108. A lot of folks talking about a video where the young man took off his jersey. I guess he was going to give it to Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie Irving kept moving, didn't take the jersey. I don't know if that's what the video shows, but all I know is Memphis won another one. Great game between Chicago and Philly, 109-105, double overtime. I want to look at the standings real quick, and then I gots to go. Milwaukee still number one team in the East by 2.5 games over Boston. Philly lurking right there. They've won 8 out of their last 10. They are 3 games out of first place, and they are playing extremely well. Cleveland hanging in there at that number 4 spot. New York, man, what about Randall? Went off for 57 last night? Yeah, congratulations to him. New York is in that number 5 spot. Brooklyn still above the play-in line. They're at number 6. Then at number 7, you got Miami. Number 8, Atlanta. Number 9, Toronto. And number 10, Chi-Town. Over on the west side of things, Denver has already clinched a playoff spot. They are in the number 1 spot, 3.5 games up on not Golden State, but Memphis. You know, the team that y'all keep talking about ain't no good. They don't have 4 rings, but right now they're in the number 2 spot. Number 3, Sacramento, staying up near the top. They're only 4.5 games out of first. Then at number 4, you got Phoenix. Number 5, the Clippers. Number 6, there's Golden State. Number 7, you got Dallas. 8, Minnesota. Number 9, OKC. And number 10 is Utah by a half game over the Lakers. So that's what we're looking at right there. All right, let me get ready to get out of here, man. Let me get ready to wrap this thing up. Got to give you the standings. Got to give you the standings for the Lunch Break Weekly Keeping Up with the Joneses Bracket Challenge. Let me give you those standings real quick. We were celebrating Erica last week, but oh, how quickly the brackets have changed. Right now, Clarence is in that number 1 spot, tied with Sheridan. And number 3, you got Alice McGaffey. Number 3 tied is CJ. She's tied with Miss Pearl. Stephanie Bisco is tied for 3rd, and Alice is tied with herself at number 3, but she had Purdue in that one. They're out. Then at number 8, you got Jameis Jeter, Willie Gibson, and some more CJ. And then you got Alexis at 11, 12, Big Mike. Also, Milo's at 12. Todd Malcolm is at 12. Courtney Harden at 12. Wallace Snowman at 12. Amber Shaw at 12. Clarence, other bracket at 12. Stephanie Love is at 12. Alexa's second bracket is at 12. And then Big Mike again is at 12. For those who want to know where I am, I'm way down, baby. I'm way down at 39 and 44. I'm bringing up the rear. I just want to make sure the rear gets brought up. All right, so hang in there. We'll be back tomorrow with Winning Wednesday. We'll tell you how you can get your chance to win another $500 cash like Miss Pearl did in our Lunch Break Weekly Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge football. All right, so as always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I truly do love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Except meet us here tomorrow for Winning Wednesday. All right, y'all. Y'all take care. We'll talk to you then.
The man said that Sharifa Barksdale is on the verge. She's getting ready to set the world record. And I lost concentration, and I followed that hurdle. I was devastated.
Posición game ball de Canadá, dominando la prueba, y la estadounidense Sharifa Barksdale está en.
When I fell over that hurdle, it ended my career. And then all of a sudden, my coach grabs me by the throat. And I was going through some paperwork and seeing that he had spent 10 years in prison. And I was just like floored. It turned to domestic violence. I was terrified. So if I left, I don't know if I was going to die. My family didn't know if they was going to get a phone call to say that Sharifa was dead.
8910 radio, I said a vehicle took a shot at me. Southbound on East 95th.
Broke the U.S. record in the 400-meter hurdles. Represented the United States of America.
Imagine being on the biggest, fastest roller coaster that you have ever been on. That's the way my life was for 20 years.
I never had no trouble out of her being what she wanted to be. Because if this is what she wanted to be a runner, well, God bless her, and he did.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.